What's up, everybody? Dr. Ian Bulow here out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is my vlog. This is something I wanted to do for a while. In today's vlog, you're going to get to see an evaluation of a patient with a nerve pain syndrome, debilitating nasty pain syndrome, and you're also going to see an evaluation of a young family, more for prevention and wellness and things like that. It's really great information. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions at all, let me know. Otherwise, if you like this, the best thing you can do is like it, share it, and we'll see you guys next time. It's just people can't relate.
Right.
Chronic pain syndromes, unfortunately, it's hard for people to, they can't see it. It's not like it's a wound, you know?
So for me, initially it was more ear and sinus pain. And that was probably December, January.
And mainly on the right side, right?
Only my right side. So then, you know, that gets us to here today. You know, I went.
When did the jaw start coming in?
That was probably just a couple months ago.
June, summer kind of?
Yeah, it definitely happened in July, like before this big episode. And it probably happened one more time before that. It's just so hard because I didn't think much of it. So then August 13th of this year, I just went on my 10-year anniversary trip. We're whitewater rafting, we're, you know, doing ropes course. I'm feeling great. We have, you know, the best time. We come home. That Monday morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, my ear, like maybe I got water in it or something because this is unreal. I have to go because this is too painful. So Tuesday morning I go to the urgent care and she's like, yeah, it kind of looks like maybe you have an ear infection, inner, outer. I'm just going to go ahead and give you amoxicillin. We'll give you some drops. So I'm taking them and I'm like, I'm not, usually, you know, you kind of get that relief within a couple doses and it's not hitting it. I'm taking pain medicine. Nothing is hitting this like ear and nose pain. So I'm like, I think I need to go see my PCP. This is the brain stem. Brain stem is what regulates pretty much all your cranial nerves, right? Trigeminal nerve just so happens to be the biggest one. The other thing about the trigeminal nerve is the trigeminal nucleus, so like where the actual cell bodies are three different clusters of, there's, I'm trying to think of what the other ones are called, but the lower one is a long cluster of cells and it's called the trigeminal cervical nucleus. And the reason it's called that is because it actually goes down to the level of like the upper cervical spine. And what happens is these joints and muscles pain receptors feed into that trigeminal cervical nucleus, which is the same place where the pain and temperature from here feeds into. So the point of the matter is if you had like a cobweb of nerves and you just pluck this part of your cobweb, the whole cobweb resonates. So if you have an irritation coming from the neck, it can feel like it's coming from here. Like if I hit here, I get the twinge right in here. But it's not a problem with my pinky, you know? So you definitely have an irritation on your trigeminal system. It's just what's causing it. Is it the fact that you're biting wrong and you're having an irritated nerve there? Or is it the fact that there may be some misalignment in your neck? The only thing that we can tell so far is that physical activity may have exacerbated it, right? That's a spinal thing. You're kind of going get this stuff out of the way first. So what you're going to do is just sit nice and tall, just like that. I'm going to have you tuck your chin down a little bit. Right there, just like that's fine. The scanner itself houses 2 infrared cameras, so it does not put anything into your skin. It is measuring the heat that is naturally coming off the skin surface. So what the computer does is it measures and compares the left side with the right side. And the reality is you should be the same. You know, you should be able to take a thermometer and put it under the left arm and the right arm and it'd be the same. But if you take a look here, and watch this now, this line represents the temperature on the left side of your neck from bottom to top. This line represents the temperature on the right side of your neck from bottom to top, and that line in the middle is the comparison. It's the difference between the two. If the left and the right were the same, that center line would be straight up and down like the blue line. And you can see how yours is kind of all over the place, which is not a huge surprise, given the fact that you have a functional problem. We'd like, if it were straight down the center, then you'd have green on both sides. You have a moderate amount of inflammation. It's hotter on the right side relative to the left, which just so happens to be the side that a lot of your discomfort is on. It doesn't always correlate with the sign of pain, but the level of dysfunction in your neck is pretty high. And our goal would be to try and get that to kind of look like this. If we can get it to calm down like that, then not only do we find that people's necks and shoulders calm down, but all the neurological just agitation calms, and I think you really would do well. You're going to relax the muscles in the legs. We're going to bring them up. Just relax here. We're going to bend the knees. Any tension in your lower back when we bring the feet up like this? Not too bad.
Good. but a little bit there?
Just a slight bit.
Yeah. When your spine is out of line, that's one of those things, it doesn't, there's not room for give, right? So when we flex the hips and bend like that, it shouldn't create any tension, but when your spine's out of line, you'll feel that. Now if you had a bulging disc, you'd light up. You wouldn't, you know what I mean? But there's just that slight tension in your spine. And Lindsay, if I brought your feet together and I held them like this, if I put my hand on this right heel and I come straight over, I kind of run into that pad. And again, you're talking about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Not a huge deal, but it shows those hips are just like your lower back pain, just a little tension. But I want to see how much of this tension down your spine is due to this tension all the way up here. I just want you to turn your face. You can start by looking to your left and just kind of relax it on the right ear there. Relax the shoulders and back. Relax the legs and the feet just like before. Now when you turn to the left, now right to left doesn't make a big difference, but just when you turn, if it changes things, that's what matters. And when you turn to the left, you get just about perfectly level. You know what I mean? Now go ahead and turn to the right. And all this is doing is just a test to say, hey, if you move your neck bones, right?
And this is actually difficult to do.
Moving
to my right side.
To the right side?
Like it just feels funky.
Yep. And Raj, come on over here. And go ahead and look at this. When you turn to the right, it gets worse, right? And it's, again, we're talking about 1/8 of a degree here, or 1/8 of an inch here, 1/8 of an inch there. There's a structural problem up here. And if at the same time we take that heat reading and we see there's a neurological irritation in this area, then our assumption is that the two of them are related. That whatever's going on structurally is also causing a neurological irritation. So if we fix that structural problem, we can calm the nerves in that area, and if we do that, any neurological area associated, either directly or indirectly, should hopefully calm down and improve and allow your body to heal. So Jacob, you've been under care now for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you were starting to hold. So like just even the fact that you don't always need to be adjusted is kind of a new concept for people. You know what I mean? You think when you go to the chiropractor, you get adjusted every time, right? The reality is we look at it like a cardiologist. You go to get checked, and then you get adjusted when needed. So you did get adjusted last time. How have you been doing since then?
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So this is your scan today, right? And without even looking at the ones in the past, you already can get a sense of how it's pretty decent. If we look here, Jacob's last scan was here. This was after he left on his last appointment, and that's where you are today. That's a pretty decent scan, right? We're gonna cross-reference that with your balance and your posture and just kind of see. But since you're going away for a while, when you come back, we'll probably check you a couple times that week when you come back. But otherwise, this is great. Go ahead and look to your right-hand side there, Jacob. And then to the left-hand side all the way. And back to the center, back to the middle. So his feet are perfectly level, and that combined with a calm scan, we don't want to go in and mess with that, you know? I'm just going to check the rest of your spine to see how tight it is. I would imagine that it's doing pretty well. I always just like to double check to see how the tension is in the spine. We've got some muscle tension, but no trigger points, you know what I mean? No spasms. Riley, you've had 4 adjustments so far. And what we want to do now is see if there's any glimpses of it starting to gel a little bit. It's a little bit of trial and error, a little bit more general. Similar patterning. The orange is right here, calming down a little bit at the bottom. You see that spike at the top? That's the most important area. So when you have that spike, we usually keep working on it, right? This midsection's calmed down to the blue, which is good. So it's, you know, it's a little bit calm, about the same, calm, a little irritated. It's very similar. You know, sum total is it's about similar. What we'll do is we'll take a look at your posture, look at balance, and we may shift gears from C1 down to C2, which is what we last left off with. We may do that again. Start setting in again.
Yeah.
Kylie's been having episodes of nausea and actually fainting spells, right? And this is one of the reasons why we wanted to do these videos, is because a lot of people would think, what in the world does fainting have to do with my spine? And it's like, well, hang on. Your spine is the gateway of all those blood vessels and brain fluid and all kind of important stuff. And so it's really important. And what we're seeing is just like the scans, doing well after the adjustment, but kind of falling back into that rut a little bit. So we're starting to change a little bit about what we're doing. See, I gotta get on your good side. I'm helping you out. So then you can help me out later. Yeah. Yeah.
What does the train say? Say choo choo.
Nice. Again, similar. But what you'll see is up at the top here, Kylie, right at the very, very top, we go from these oranges down to yellows and greens. And for the most part, we like yellows and greens. We don't like oranges and reds. And that's a simple. Yeah. Do I got a high five? Yeah, you do. You want to give me one? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
It was red starting out last time.
That's right, yeah. Baby steps in the right direction. I'm gonna get a look at Nayeli. Now the way we're gonna do this really kind of depends. It seems like her patience is wearing on us. Now, this is just how I roll, and we'll see if she lets me. Nayeli, come here. Come here. Watch. It's all right. It's all right. Look over here. What's that choo-choo train? Nayeli, look. What's this? What's this? What's this? What is it? What is it? Choo-choo? Watch. Choo-choo. Yeah, she's so nice. Nayeli. Good job. Nayeli. Good job. So she's a little bit hotter on the left-hand side. Not too bad, but these guys aren't as accurate as ours, but it's just a little off. That's, by the way, something that you can do at home. It's less accurate in adults, but with pediatrics and newborns, you take the temperature kind of in the soft spot behind your earlobe where you have a piercing. Yeah. Compare it side to side. You want it to be within 0.5 degree Fahrenheit. For the adults, we obviously measure the temperature up your back, up the back of the spine there. Mm-hmm. But with the little ones, since they'll shrink their neck down because it's ticklish, you know, we just take the temperature right up here. And we like for it to be within 0.3 degrees Celsius. So right here, 0.39 is kind of, all right, you know, it's a little bit off, not terrible, just right on the brink there. It's also off on the left. So if we were to check her again, when you guys get back from your trip, we'll see if it's still off on that side or if it's just still active. So if you look, you can see how that left shoe, now again, she's tilting her toes a little bit, but there is a bit of a difference, right? Her left side is just consistently a little bit higher, right? And if I look, not even at her shoes, but at her actual heels, you know, this side is a bit higher up than the other side, which would suggest the muscles down in here on her left side, oh, you're fine, are a little tighter. She can go ahead and come on up. So what we're gonna do is quite simply, we're just going to take note of this, right? So she's a little bit warm on the one side, and her left side is a bit kind of contracted there, probably about 1/4 inch. You know, a lot of people wonder what we do that for with the kiddos, but it's like, man, last time you saw a birth process, it's pretty involved, right? It's a lot of tension on their hips and on their necks and all that stuff. So we'll check it again just to see next time, and if it's still off, we may work on it a little bit, see if we can balance that spine out a little bit. How was her birth, by the way? Was it natural birth? Yeah. Natural? Was it a long labor? Any forceps or
It was long.
Good long labor there.
But no interventions or anything.
What's that?
She was posterior.
Oh wow. And how was her first 3 to 6 months in terms of colic and things like that?
She didn't have colic. She was born with bilateral clubfoot though.
Okay, that could be something going on there.
Yeah, so she was in casts and braces for a long time.
It's good to know. We'll, as a precaution, check her again in the future. Right now, I would say, yeah, not so bad.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. It is a full-on game now. It's like King of the Hill. What was that? What was that? Yeah, that's right. She like put that look straight at me like, wait a second, I totally just did that. Yeah, you did it. I saw it. It's all right. I forgive you. Oh, well, you did. You ate it. You did. You ate it. Oh, you little cutie. Good boy. Can I high five? These are Lindsay's x-rays. We saw her earlier today. She has the facial pain syndrome. And we did our analysis, which shows inflammation coming from the cervical spine, from the neck. Let me show you here. This is looking at the same bone here, just from the front, right? So that's the top bone of the neck. There it is right there. So this is the right side, this is the left side. Now watch this. Remember I showed you that little misalignment right there? That's exactly what that is. It's forward and slipping off the edge on this side. Now if I come over to this left-hand side, that perimeter is lined up just fine. Right? It's lined up just fine over here, but over here, it slipped off to the right-hand side. So this C1 bone in this person, if this is it here, that C1 bone has been pushed up and to the right on that side. And at the same time, the third cervical down, when we were looking from below, is rotated over. So the C1 has kind of gone up and in this direction, and then halfway down the neck, it's kind of turned over in this direction like that.
So the last time I was here, I had kind of experienced some pretty severe nerve pain, burning in my face. It was really hard to sleep at night because I was experiencing just shocks of pain in my face. I'm currently not experiencing like major shocks, but that's probably because of medication. And but I'm currently just enduring a lot of burning in my face. Like the skin feels very hot and like a crushing feeling in my temple, and then it just feels like I have a chronic ear infection, but I don't have an ear infection. So I'm tired and I'm not sleeping well. I have to sleep sitting up. So I'm really hoping that we'll find some relief here.
Yeah.
So.
But really the gold standard is the three-dimensional image that we took. And we know for certain that that C1 bone is shifted forward and to the right-hand side.
And so in a minute, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little impulse right behind your right ear.
Right there. And we're going to bring it in this direction. Now that's not the adjustment
Itself, that's just a little pre-test, so to speak. And I like to see, does it help your spine relax? And it does. You go from a 1/4 inch down to about 1/8 of an inch when I put that pressure just behind the ear, okay? But the actual adjustment itself is going to be on a different table. So I'm going to have you go ahead and come on up from here. What you want to do is take a mental snapshot of this. And this is what I tell everybody, but I know it's going to be a little bit harder for you, potentially harder, which is, this is how you should be sleeping. What we're going to do is we're going to take a measurement here that we got from your images so that we're really, really accurate. And when we do the adjustment, we're going to be contacting the very top bone in your neck, which is located right here behind your ear. Okay, it's about the size of an eraser tip of a number 2 pencil. Not very large. So we don't have to apply a lot of pressure. Okay, what you're going to feel is something like that. Okay, it's going to be very quick, it's going to be very light. But what you'll hear and what you'll feel primarily is that this headrest that you're lying on is going to drop down.
Sure.
So it'll sound and feel more like that. Okay, but what happens behind your ear, you're barely going to feel it all. There's no cracking, there's no popping, there's nothing like that. Everything we just did, that little impulse to shift that one bone to allow it to settle and rest, okay? And then we'll let you rest there for about 15-20 minutes, then I'll get you up and we'll recheck it, all right? So hang tight here for just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the weight of your head. I'm going to have you kick your feet forward. I'm just going to sit on up all the way. All the way, all the way, all the way. So sit real nice and tall there. Try not to twist or bend your neck too much, and you can go ahead and come on up. You can slip your shoes on if you'd like, and you're going to follow me in the back, okay? Is it okay to lie flat on your back?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
It's only at night that I have problems laying on my back, and I don't really know why.
And remind me again, what is it that flares when you lie on your
It's
back?
like I have this awful, like I already have burning on my face and tingling, but it's like overwhelming, and it's almost like my central nervous system gets mad, and I get like my body jumps
lie down?
and jumps
Yeah.
and jumps, and I can't sleep.
We'll take it slow and see.
Okay.
And this is how you want to sleep if you're a back sleeper.
Okay. Should I try to transform myself into a back sleeper, or is that useless?
I think either way is fine.
Okay.
There's different arguments for both. You just don't want to be on your stomach.
Right.
Okay. We have in the future, you can try. We have an overnight pillow that has, it's contoured to support you in your back like this, but on each side of your head it has these big pads, so when you roll onto your side it actually supports you from the side.
Sure.
So your head's not doing this. This is how you want to be on your back, and that's how you want to be when you're on your side, when you're over there. Alrighty? Sounds good?
Yeah.
I mean, are you doing okay with this so far?
Yeah, feels something different. I just can't decide all the things yet.
Well, think about them. You'll give us a report here in a minute.
Sure, sounds
all right, I'll come get you in 20. The last thing I'll say is feel free to fall asleep. A lot of people do. I'll get you in a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. How we doing? Come on up.
All right.
That's cool. Come on up. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. You can move a bit more freely. It looks like your sandals got tucked underneath it here. Full ranges of motion of yes and no are not a problem. The stuff you want to stay away from is holding phones under your ear and looking up over your head. What were you experiencing while you were back there?
My ear fullness is definitely changed. It doesn't feel as full. Like it was painful. My nerves, they feel in my face less agitated. I still have some pain.
Sure, yeah.
But I can't deny that they do feel a little less.
That's cool. No, my thing that I always tell people is we want to see change in the beginning, calmness over time.
Right.
If you get calm right away, it's a bonus, right?
Right.
But that's great. It sounds like a little bit of both, which is awesome.
Right.
Good. We did 3 scans on you today, 2 before, 1 after. And out of all those scans, we looked at these 1, 2, 3, 4 areas of consistent and persistent stress, right? There were 4 areas that were the same last time as well as today. And those are the areas of concern, right? And the yellow is right now. And so above the first area of concern, we see it's the same stress, okay? Very similar. This next line, however, instead of leaning to the left, it's actually leaning to the right. So that's that change I was talking about.
Right.
Here they used to lean to the right, and right now it's perfectly straight up and down. That's that calmness I was talking about. And down here they went to the left, and now it actually starts off going to the right. That's that change. So half of it's changing, a quarter of it's calming down, and a quarter of it's the same. Not too shabby. We're going to continue on this path and calm down, or we'll see things getting a little irritated again, and we'll repeat. You did awesome for your first adjustment. That's a high five day. All right, so check this for just a second. Melissa. Thanks for taking the time to watch the vlog. If you have any questions at all over the things that we just went over, please leave a message or contact me directly. I would love to address them. And as always, like the page, follow us here on social media, and share this with your friends and family. You don't know who you could impact by that. If you're local to the area and you want to get checked out, I'd love to help you. If you're outside of the greater Pittsburgh area, Western Pennsylvania, contact us. We'll find you a doctor nearby who can help out. We'll see you guys soon.